So why learning programming will never be the same after 2024, and how artificial intelligence like ChatGPT can help you and guide you and be your personal tutor. Watch this video and you will learn it. Let me introduce to myself. I am AI Ivan, a Russian hacker and a tutor and a professor in university. I like programming. I have been working as a developer more than 10 years and I love teaching. But now OpenAI released GPT Store and it released a coding tutor that help you learn. And please see how magnificent it looks. So when you go on the main page of GPT Store, the first featured app here is called Tutor from Khan Academy. So Khan Academy is a very large online school and it made a special code tutor to help you learn. And it doesn't give you straight answers and code. If you take a look at the dialogue that I have here, the first message is that it used a Socratic dialogue. So it do the learning process by asking questions and engaging you to answer and to give your hypothesis and to communicate with this tutor like with live tutor, like with live professor in the class. So my first question was that if I am a 16-year-old high school student, where do I start learning programming? And it gave me a few sentences and asked me, so what programming languages did I heard? Of course, I answered that I heard about Python. And this code tutor communicates with me like a real person. It asks me questions. What do you know about Python? What characteristics do you know? So I made some Googling and I answered that Python is very easy to run and install. So the next question was where I should begin with Python and how I need to start exploring this language. But I made further Googling and I googled that Python has no strict types. I don't know yet what does that mean. But I heard that, I read an article that it may be not well for beginners. So now the answer is much more detailed. So now Code Tutor tells me what is data types, what is concepts in programming language like type safety and stuff like that. So like strictly type programming language helped me to learn about data types and type safety. But okay, I decided to go on with Python. So and first step is to set up Visual Studio Code. And now also it doesn't give you instructions. You see, it asks question, what you need to install Visual Studio Code? What steps do you need to do? So it was easy installation. And it asked me, okay, what the first step will be for you to program with Python. And programming actually for me is like talking to the computer. You need to tell the computer what you want it to do. You need to speak with it. You need to speak with it like in Harry Potter using parcel tongue. Python actually is very close to parcel tongue. And so the programming is a process of speaking with computer. So and it was very interesting way for a code tutor, and it helped me to write the first program about inputting username and outputting the message. I asked how do I input the name, how do I ask the name, and that was the first time when this code tutor gives me a straight answer that I need to use input function. But it does give me full code, like you may be familiar with ChatGPT, you may know that it can give you a full code on Python. But this tutor works differently. It asks questions always. It asks, could you try to think how you might write this code? And of course, I made some assumption, but it was not almost correct. And I think that code tutor offers me to assign user input to a variable. By the way, I should ask him what is a variable here. So, okay, I put something in a variable, but later I met a new concept. For input and output, it was the console. And I'm 35 years old. But for digital generation for new Zoomers who were born like in 2008. They were born with smartphones. They were very deeply touched with touchscreens. They love touchscreens. They love their Android. And of course, I think they don't understand this awful black no design screen called the console. So now Code Tutor gives me a full lecture about what console is and give me 5 points: that it has direct communication with operating system, efficiency, historical context, used for programming and development, of course, and cross-platform. But cross-platform I think is not a good point, because console in Windows and console in Linux are very two different ways. Okay, now when I have the explanations about the console, I should ask what is a variable. And I typed a question, so what is a variable and where it is, where computer may put my input. So I think Code Tutor will give me one more lecture. Yeah, and it outputs me what's a variable, how does it work, why we are using variables. So really, now compare it to a typical class. Imagine that typical class, you have only one teacher and 20 kids, maybe 30 kids, maybe even 10 kids. It's a big enough group, so teacher cannot answer to everyone and it can't give such detailed explanation. And more important, that if I don't understand some point from these explanations, like what is temporary storage, what is not temporary storage, I can ask furthermore and I can communicate with it. So I assumed that if I have temporary storage, there must be persistent storage. And of course I made some typos, but I think this Code Tutor will understand me and will answer. Yeah, so we have hard disk drives and solid state drives and USB flash and everything like this. So it gives you a detailed explanation. It helps you to understand the basics of programming. And Hanmiga Lite in ChatGPT, in GPT Store, you need to have a premium subscribe, you need to have premium plan that costs $20 a month. But if you go on Han Academy blog and if you will watch their Hanmiga Lite, they offer it only for $1 for first month, and then they charge you how much? And then they charge you only $4 a month. It is 5 times lower than ChatGPT Plus. But Hanmiga is only one tool and it is used for learning programming. And ChatGPT Store, the GPT Store, new function, they have much more instruments, like drawing pictures with DALL-E that I used in the beginning of my lecture. And in the end of this video, I want you to watch TED Talk by Han Academy about how AI could save and not destroy education. It's very good TED Talk. It have over 2 million of views, and please watch it, how really AI can be used in the world of education. This was AI Ivan, Russian hacker. We are now living with machines, so my website is livewithmachines.com, and please leave your comments, subscribe, and it was very funny experience to make this video for you. Thank you.